After World War II, the US was in the middle of the Cold War against the Soviet Union. China had fallen into communism, and the Soviet Union had exploded their first atomic bomb. The occurrence of these events led to high tensions in the United States and a strong fear of communism at home and abroad. This fear earned communism the name the Red Menace by the American people. The American people became crippled with fear of the idea of communism taking over their beloved government. This is when the Wisconsin Republican Senator Joseph McCarthy caught the attention of the American public by claiming to have a list of 205 Communist Party members working and making laws in the government. Before McCarthy became famous for his list, he had run for senator and won by accusing his opponent of going easy on the communists because he didn't enlist in the war. Because of the high tensions against communism and foreign powers, McCarthy was able to easily convince the suspicious Americans that communism had infiltrated their government. One effect of his list was a decreased trust in the American government. This distrust lingered for years and contributed to the rise of conservatism. In addition to McCarthy's wild accusations, the Republican-led House of Un-American Activities Committee started a campaign to get communism out of. McCarthy was made head of the Anti-Communist Committee, which made it easier for him to do more in-depth investigations of the people he accused and gave him more power in general. McCarthy would bring people to court and aggressively interrogate them about if they were communists. His signature phrase was, "Are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?" After McCarthy's investigations, his victims would often claim that it was a direct violation of their constitutional rights. The Committee of Un-American Activities started to target left-wingers in Hollywood and liberals of being communist. A group of actors who McCarthy had accused of being communist refused to testify, saying it was against their rights. They became known as the Hollywood 10 or the Hollywood Blacklist. By this point, McCarthy had become untouchable because he could accuse anyone who questioned his authority. But he screwed up when he started accusing the army soldiers and leaders of being communists. The American people who had previously been able to overlook the attack on the government had drawn the line when it came to accusing. McCarthy was never able to prove that any of the people on his list were in fact communists. Even without proof, 2,000 government employees lost their jobs and reputations because of his wild accusations. To knock McCarthy down a peg, the army began to publicize McCarthy's lack of credibility by showing evidence that he had worked to get people he liked who had been drafted preferential treatment in the war. The thing that really destroyed McCarthy's career was the decision made by the Army officials to broadcast the Army-McCarthy hearing on TV. The hearing showed how McCarthy had brutally attacked a young Army lawyer, and the Army's chief counsel yelled, "Have you no decency, sir?" The Senate wanted to condemn him for inexcusable, awful, vulgar, and insulting conduct, but he never actually was convicted. Even though McCarthy kept his job, he lost all his power and credibility. McCarthy and his reign of terror had a lasting effect on history, which is still affecting us today.